The crowd outside Buckingham Palace was buzzing. Dozens of tourists had been waiting for over an hour, eager to snap pictures of the world-famous changing of the guard. Cameras were already raised, flashes ready, as the clock struck noon. But no one could have predicted what was about to happen next, an incident so absurd that it would go viral within hours. Among the eager crowd stood Mildred, a 32-year-old American tourist with one mission. She wanted the perfect photo, not just any picture from behind the barriers like everyone else. No, Mildred wanted a close-up right next to the royal guard on horseback. Her boyfriend, Lyle, was holding the camera nervously, already sensing this wasn't going to end well. The guards had already set up barriers to keep pushy tourists at bay. After all, they were trained to remain stoic no matter what. Screaming kids, mocking faces, tourists waving selfie sticks in their faces, they endured it all with military precision. But while the guards could handle the annoyance, the horses were a different story. These animals weren't trained for human nonsense, and when tourists crossed the line, they often paid the price. As the palace gates creaked open, a wave of excitement rippled through the crowd. Uniformed guards marched forward in perfect formation, their boots striking the ground in unison. Behind them, the mounted guards emerged, their horses magnificent, towering above the crowd. The air filled with a sound of clicking cameras, and then Mildred snapped. Ignoring the rules, ignoring common sense, she jumped the barrier. Gasps erupted from the crowd. Lyle muttered under his breath, "Oh no, not again," but raised the camera anyway. Mildred strutted confidently toward one of the horses, grinning ear to ear. She had picked her target, a tall, dark horse led by a young guard who was already struggling to keep a straight face. She waved at Lyle to get ready and then, in a reckless move, grabbed the reins. The guard's composure cracked. In a sharp voice he barked, "Step away from the horse!" But Mildred only tightened her grip, ignoring him. The crowd's murmurs turned into shouts, half in disbelief, half in anticipation of the disaster that was about to unfold. The guard gave a subtle command to his horse, a barely perceptible squeeze of the reins. Trained to obey instantly, the animal lurched forward. Mildred, caught completely off guard, stumbled and went sprawling, face first onto the pavement. Gasps turned to laughter as she scrambled on the ground, brushing dirt from her face. But the horse wasn't done. Standing squarely above her, its massive body casting a shadow, the animal lifted its tail. The crowd fell silent for a split second, then erupted into roars of laughter as the horse, well, let's just say it, answered nature's call, right on top of Mildred. The once cocky tourist was now shrieking in horror, covered in the most humiliating fate imaginable. Even Lyle, torn between helping his girlfriend and filming the spectacle, couldn't resist cracking a smile. The cameras around the plaza captured every second, and dozens of phones were already uploading the footage to social media. What was meant to be Mildred's perfect royal photo had just turned into one of the most embarrassing viral moments of her life. The laughter echoed across the palace gates. Tourists were doubled over, some wiping tears from their eyes as they replayed the unbelievable moment on their phone. Within minutes, hashtags were born. Number horse justice, number royal revenge, and even number poopgate started trending online. Mildred, meanwhile, was still on the ground, her shrieks muffled by the chaos. Lyle finally rushed to help her up, though he couldn't hide the smirk tugging at his lips. "I told you this was a bad idea," he muttered, trying to clean her clothes with tissues from his pocket, but the damage was done literally and figuratively. The guards, trained to remain professional no matter the situation, didn't so much as crack a smile. The young rider straightened his posture, keeping his eyes forward, but deep down, he must have felt a rush of satisfaction. His horse had done what no guard was allowed to, teach a pushy tourist a lesson. As Mildred stormed back behind the barrier, red-faced and fuming, the crowd erupted into cheers. Strangers clapped the horse on the flank as if it were some kind of folk hero. Someone shouted, "Best guard of the day!" and more laughter followed. By evening, the video had already gone viral worldwide. News outlets picked it up, adding dramatic headlines. "Royal horse takes revenge on tourist." "Palace guard's horse delivers perfect justice." Clips were replayed on TV, TikTok, and Twitter, gathering millions of views. People debated whether Mildred deserved it, but the overwhelming consensus was clear. She had crossed a line, and karma had struck hard. Back at the hotel, Mildred locked herself in the bathroom, refusing to speak. Lyle scrolled through his phone, shaking his head in disbelief as he saw her face plastered all over the internet. When she finally emerged hours later, she looked defeated. "I just wanted one good picture," she whispered, almost to herself. But perhaps, deep down, she realized something. Respecting boundaries, whether it's palace guards, their horses, or simple rules matter. Sometimes, it takes humiliation to learn humility. And so, the tourist who came to London chasing the perfect snapshot left with something else entirely. A lesson that the world had already immortalized online. For everyone else, though, it was entertainment gold. And for that horse, it was just another day on duty, except this time, it got to be the hero.